Welcome to D&D Builds, where we have an outlet to make all sorts of ridiculous Dungeons & Dragons builds and stop driving the people in our lives insane with them. Today we're diving into some anime, and we're building the one, the only, Goku. I was a little nervous about doing this build because a certain animation studio is known to copyright strike YouTube channels into oblivion, but I just can't help myself. I grew up loving this show, and with a new Dragon Ball Super Heroes movie on the way, I just felt like diving into it. So hopefully I don't get copyright striked into oblivion. But if you have to talk about this build, just try and keep it on the DL and just refer to it as Snake Sphere Y instead of the usual name that it goes by. That way, hopefully we don't get flagged quite as much. If you want character sheets for any of my builds, access to the Discord, or plenty of other perks, feel free to check out my Patreon linked in the description below, just like these incredibly awesome people. So now let's build Goku, aka Kakarot. First things first, we gotta pick a race, and this is actually kind of complicated. With Goku's ability to look up at the moon and turn into the insane monster monkey thing, I was tempted to go Shifter, but we're gonna go ahead and choose Goku without the tail, so we'll avoid that. He's also died a ton of times throughout the show, so we could go Reborn, but let's keep it a little more straightforward, and with him crashing down on Earth and bonking his head in the process, losing most of his memories, we know he's from another world, and when it comes to Celestials, we gotta go with an Aasimar. Aasimars get +2 to their charisma right off the bat, and we get to pick a sub-race for Aasimar, and since him and the Z-Fighters are protectors of Earth, we're gonna go with Protector Aasimar, which gives us another +1 to our wisdom score. You get a few other abilities by going Aasimar, but don't worry, we'll cycle back to those a little later. As far as the background, we have two good options here. I think either Folk Hero or Far Traveler both make sense, but the proficiencies you get from being a Far Traveler include Insight and Perception, and frankly Goku is a little too trusting of most people, so I think instead we're going to go with Folk Hero. This gives you skill proficiencies in Animal Handling and Survival, and then before we jump into some stats, let's decide on what class to pick. We could have gone Beast Barbarian if we wanted to do the transformation into the giant monkey thing, but we're not going that route. And we definitely need to focus on some martial arts, because that's kind of a major point in the show. That's what it's all about. So it should be no surprise that we're going Monk. And Monk's main stats are Dexterity and Wisdom, so that's going to be where we focus. And with that in mind, we're going to dump Strength, because even though Goku is super strong, we need to use our points elsewhere. We're going to put 14 points into Dexterity, giving us a +2 to our ability modifier. Get 15 points into Constitution, so that way you can really take a handful of hits and keep on coming. Dump Intelligence, because that's definitely not what Goku is known for. Then bring our Wisdom up to 15, and then get another +1 from our Protector Aasimar. And then Charisma, we're going to bring to 10, and then get another +2 from being an Aasimar in general. At level 1 of Monk, you get access to simple weapons and short swords, so now early on you can use a quarterstaff, aka your power pole. Because before Goku got all blasty, he definitely used that quite a bit. You get saving throws and strength and dexterity, and you get 2 skills, so we're going to grab acrobatics because that's going to be super useful if anybody tries to grapple you and you need to get out, and you can use your dexterity for that skill. And then the other skills just don't really fit very well, so I guess we'll take stealth. It's useful even though Goku doesn't always go very stealthy. At level 1 of Monk, you get unarmored defense, allowing you to make your armor class 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your wisdom modifier, making your current armor class 15. You also get access to martial arts, one of the main reasons we chose this class. You can use your fist in martial arts in order to deal damage, and you can use your dexterity modifier for these punches and kicks. The damage is currently 1d4 per hit, but it goes up as you level up in a monk. Additionally, when you attack with an unarmed strike, you can make 1 additional unarmed strike as a bonus action, meaning that you're one of the first melee characters to be able to get 2 hits in a single turn. At level 2 of Monk, you get access to your ki, aka the energy you use for plenty of your powering up, which is kind of a pivotal point of pretty much all of Dragon Ball. You only have 2 key points at this level, so you get access to things like Flurry of Blows, allowing you to spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action instead of 1. You can spend 1 key point to use Patient Defense, allowing you to take the dodge action as a bonus action, or you can spend 1 key point for Step of the Wind, allowing you to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action as well. Additionally, when you take this, your jump distance is doubled for the turn. Lastly, at second level, you get unarmored movement, allowing you to move an additional 10 feet per turn, bringing your current movement to 40 feet. Then at third level, you get deflect missiles, allowing you to smack away plenty of blasts coming your way. You get some additional key points that level up along with you, and you get monastic tradition, allowing you to choose a subclass. And if you've been around D&D for a while, you should probably guess what subclass I'm going to go with. I'm going to pick a Sun Soul. When you pick the Monk Way of the Sun Soul, you get access to Radiant Sunbolt, giving you a whole new attack option to use as your attack, and you can use your Dexterity modifier for it. It deals radiant damage, and the damage die goes up along with your martial arts die. So early in this build, you can start letting out plenty of Kamehameha blasts, and you can use this in place of any of your unarmed attacks. So if you wanted to do Flurry of Blows, you can also use this as your bonus action and attack 2 more times from range. At 4th level, you get an ability score improvement, and I'm sure you're probably thinking I'm just going to go straight into dexterity, but I want to have some fun with this early on, and we're going to take a feat. We have that odd number in Constitution, so I'm going to grab a feat that we can boost our Constitution by 1, and it gives us a nice little perk that really plays into most of the theme of Dragon Ball and all of its sequel series. We're going to grab the feat Crusher. Crusher will allow us to boost our Constitution by 1, rounding it out to 16, and once per turn when you hit a creature with bludgeoning damage, which is what your martial arts damage type is, you can move it 5 feet to an unoccupied space. You can think of this in a slightly toned down version of when you punch somebody so hard they fly through the mountains nearby. Lastly, when you score a critical hit that deals bludgeoning damage, any attack rolls against that creature are made with advantage until the start of your next turn. Additionally, at this level you get access to slow fall, so beginning at 4th level you can use your reaction when you fall to reduce any falling damage by 5 times your monk level. And then at 5th level, your martial arts die gets upgraded from a 1d4 to a 1d6, which is pretty helpful. You get access to extra attack, and you get stunning strike. This is the bread and butter of any monk, and it really pisses off plenty of DMs. You can spend 1 key point when you hit a creature with an attack, and that target must succeed a Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of your next turn. And stunned is one hell of a condition to deal with. Attacks against that creature are going to be at advantage, it won't be able to take any actions, and it's just pretty damn good to have in your back pocket. At 6th level, you get key empowered strikes, making your unarmed strikes count as magical for overcoming resistances to non-magical attacks, and you get access to Searing Arc Strike as your Way of the Sun Soul, allowing you to essentially cast Burning Hands as a bonus action by spending some key points, but think of this as one of those really massive Kamehameha blasts. And lastly, at this level, your speed gets increased by another 5 feet. Then at 7th level, you get Evasion, allowing you to dodge massive blasts a little easier, and Stillness of Mind, allowing you to end a charmed or frightened effect on you by just spending an action. Then at 8th level, you get another ability score improvement, so we're finally going to boost up our dexterity a little bit, which gives us increased AC and increased damage and a possibility to actually hit. At 9th level, you can now run along vertical surfaces and across liquids. Then at 10th level, you get Purity of Body. And this actually plays into Goku more than most other characters in the Dragon Ball series. While this does make you immune to disease and poison, which kind of doesn't really work as well in the show, it'll help you overcome that heart disease that you had, so you can fight against the androids very easily. But the actual concept of purity of body, I like to kind of play that up as the whole purity of Goku's heart, because one of the other reasons that we didn't go with a barbarian instead here is that while most Saiyans are required to be in complete and utter pure rage to make that Super Saiyan form happen, Goku is a little different, and he's pure of heart, allowing him to achieve new levels of Super Saiyan that most others have trouble with. But don't worry, we'll talk about that Super Saiyan part a little later. Additionally, at this level you get 5 more feet of movement, which is great, so that way you can zip around the battlefield very quickly. Then at 11th level, your damage die gets increased from a 1d6 to a 1d8, making you able to compete a little more physically, and you get a boost from being a Sun Soul. You get access to Searing Sunburst. This allows you to create an orb of light that erupts in a devastating explosion. This is going to be one of the big area effect attacks that you actually have access to, and this is just like pulling off a full-blown spirit bomb. You create a 20-foot radius sphere, and every creature must make a Constitution saving throw or take 2d6 radiant damage. You can upgrade the damage of this attack by spending up to 3 more key points and increase the damage by 2d6 for each point spent, meaning that you can deal 8d6 in an area of effect damage attack. Then at level 12 you get another ability score improvement, so we're going to bring our dexterity up to 18, boosting our attack damage, our chance to hit, and our armor class. At 13th level you get Tongue of the Sun and Moon, making you able to understand all spoken languages, so now you can add dubbing for every language that Dragon Ball is translated to, and it makes more sense why you can speak to a Namekian without any issue. At 14th level you get to increase your movement speed by 5 more feet, and you get Diamond Soul, which gives you proficiency in all saving throws, which is pretty damn awesome to have. And if you fail a saving throw, you can spend 1 key point to re-roll it. At 15th level, you get Timeless Body, and that makes sense because Saiyans happen to age a bit slower than most other races. And at 16th level, you get another ability score improvement, so we're finally going to max out our dexterity, bringing our AC up and increasing our attack potential. Then at 17th level, your martial arts damage die gets increased from 1d8 to 1d10, and you get access from being a Sun Soul to Sun Shield. You become wreathed in luminous magical aura, and you shed bright light in a 30-foot radius, allowing you to really power up and finally become a full-blown Super Saiyan. Not only that, but if a creature hits you with a melee attack while this light is shining, you can use your reaction to deal radiant damage to that creature equal to 5 plus your wisdom modifier. And I was hanging on to this until this point in the build, but on top of that, you can take an action to just scream and charge up like everybody in most anime, and activate your Aasimar ability, Radiant Soul. As a Protector Aasimar, you unleash divine energy within yourself, causing your eyes to glimmer and giving you a flying speed, so you can finally soar around like most of the characters in Dragon Ball do. Additionally, once on each of your turns, you can deal extra radiant damage to a target when you deal damage to it, equal to your level, which is a massive boost to your damage potential. You can only use this feature once per long rest, but it's still pretty damn powerful, and it really brings home a full-blown Super Saiyan aura. And the fact that this is a power of a celestial, kind of like a power of the gods, you could even say that if you activate this at the same time as your Sun Shield, is more like going Super Saiyan Blue, or Super Saiyan God. And then you don't have to power up for 5 more episodes just to find out exactly what's going to happen. No, at level 18, your speed is increased by 5 feet, and more importantly, you get Empty Body, allowing you to spend 4 key points to become invisible for 1 minute. This doesn't require concentration like a spell like invisibility. This just makes you invisible and makes you resistant to all damage except for force damage. But if you really want to get creative with this, think about what you would look like if you're invisible, but you're shedding radiant light from being an Aasimar and shedding massive light from your Sun Shield. It's almost like this weird glowing effect that's hard to explain. And here's the thing. I had been trying to figure out a great way to make Goku have the spell Foresight, because that's the absolute pinnacle, because you'll be able to attack everyone at advantage while everybody else has disadvantage at attacking you. But another way to achieve that is just by becoming invisible. So between how this looks and everybody having disadvantage attacking you and you being able to attack everybody else at advantage, almost like you're just instinctually better at martial arts, I think you've finally achieved a very particular form. That's right, Ultra Instinct. Granted, getting the actual spell Foresight cast on you might be a little more accurate, but this is a way to achieve it all on your own. And I'm super happy we managed to figure that out. So not only do you get Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God, you get full-blown Goku Ultra Instinct. Lastly, this feature, Empty Body, also gives you the ability to cast Astral Projection, and we do see this a handful of times in the show, as he projects his spirit across the universe. Then at 19th level, you get 1 more ability score improvements. We're going to boost our Wisdom, which is going to help our AC, and our spell save DC for all of the attacks and abilities that we use as a monk, and more specifically as a Sun Soul with our Searing Arc Strike and our giant Spirit Bomb, and especially those stunning strikes. Then lastly, at 20th level, we get Perfect Self, making it so that way if you roll for initiative and have no key points remaining, you get 4 key points back. And you can think of this as perfecting your Ultra Instinct form, because regaining 4 key points is exactly what you need in order to be able to activate your empty body ability to turn invisible for 1 minute. I know this build was a little bit straightforward, but I just like Dragon Ball stuff, and I'm really excited about the new movie, and it was one of the first anime I really got into when I was younger. Hopefully it doesn't get my channel blasted into oblivion, but I just couldn't help myself. Just in case that happens, you could help me out and be like these incredibly awesome people that are my patrons. They help support me on Patreon, and they get access to all the character sheets, access to the Discord, and plenty of other perks. So if you're at all interested, feel free to check out the link in the description down below. If there's any builds that you want, let me know in the comments down below, because I try and read as many of those comments as possible. And one thing I'd definitely love to know in the comments, whether you like subs or you like dubs, what's your favorite anime intro song? Because personally, mine is Rock the Dragon. It got me hyped every time DBZ was about to come on, and it definitely increased my love of anime. And if you made it all the way to the end of this build, let me know by hitting that like button, especially if you're planning to go full-blown Super Saiyan and try this build out yourself. In the meantime, I'll be here hoping you roll at least 3 nat 20s on your next D&D session, especially if you manage to pull off being able to gather all 7 Dragon Balls, summoning Shenron, and making that wish.